It is Monday, June 6th in the MLB, and I'm Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm the Angels.
And we are back with our best bets. We got a favorite team total and our favorite player prop coming your guys' way. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're 100% new. Stop into a recap for yesterday, and there's a reason the trash can's out because the Angels money line. We were trash yesterday, but so were the Angels. As the Angels blow a 6-2 lead, giving up a grand slam to Bryce Harper in the bottom of the 8th. Choking another one-run lead in the bottom of the 9th as well. Oh, it was a brutal day. That summarized it all together. Giolito over 5.5 Ks. Yeah, no chance. He had 3 Ks. I saw everyone and their mother was on Giolito after I posted the props, so naturally it's not going to hit. And then, Clevenger throws a straight meatball right down the middle of the plate, and he obviously gives up a home run, which was the Brewers' only run for probably about 9 innings, and then they scored a couple more. But either way, not a great day. Hopefully we can bounce back again today, and we can hopefully hand out some winners. Now, it's not a great slate in the MLB, so we only have our favorite 2 picks. We will not have a NRFI Nation, but we'll talk about 2 couple plays that we do like at the end of them, as well as 2 other leans for strikeouts or out props. But either way, we appreciate you guys as always for showing your love and support on the channel. We got 2 new All-Stars. Thank you guys again for supporting us. Look, we love our All-Stars out there. Our 2 newest ones, we got Adam and Michael both returning to the All-Star group. We love you guys. Thank you guys always for supporting us. And, well, without further ado, Logan, I don't got any more intros. I'm going to throw it to you. First pick of the day, you got sold hard on the Angels money line. I don't even no comment.
It's okay. You know what, Angels? You're in my graveyard. You're in a trash can, and that's where we're at today. So yeah, that was brutal. That was like a top 5 baseball bad beat of the year. But you know what? We got to move on because baseball's a marathon, not a sprint. And where are we going today, right? Going to the Padres versus Mets game, and I don't want to touch the outcome in it, but I am taking a team total over. Padres team total over 3.5 total runs. Currently plus 100 odds on BetMGM, as Austin's pulling up here, right? You're giving me a plus money value on a team total who's, they've hit this, pretty well recently. I'll talk about it, in a minute. But we got to do some line reading on this one, right? First of all, the Padres are favored over a Mets team that is much better than them, right? And it's definitely the obvious glaring line of the slate because the slate is so small. You're looking at it and you're like, interesting. The Padres are in pretty much a pick 'em, slight favorites versus the Mets. And to be competitive versus the Mets, they're going to have to score some runs. The Mets offense is one of the best in the league, if not the best currently right now. So they're going to have to definitely put up some runs. Who are they facing today, right? They're facing a pitcher that they can definitely hit. Carlos Carrasco. They call him Cookie. That's his nickname. 0-5-1 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts. He's coming up with a 6-1 record overall. It's you look at those numbers, and I want to say numbers are a little bit deceptive, right? He's almost pitched too well. That's not the Carlos Carrasco. I know the Carlos Carrasco of the 5.06 road ERA, the one that gives up hits and runs, pretty often, and a 1.21 WHIP, which is 15th highest in the major leagues of the eligible pitchers. And let me tell you guys, I mean, that's that to put that in perspective. You go on MLB.com, you scroll through all the lists of all the pitchers. He's 15th. I mean, that's a really high WHIP. He gives up the walks and hits per inning pitch. That's what WHIP is. And he's definitely an erratic pitcher. Carlos Carrasco will get runners on base. The question is, can the Padres practice some plate discipline enough for him to be able to walk him? Absolutely. Padres are 5th best in the MLB in drawing walks per game. I expect them to do so today. And let's talk about some of their splits versus Carlos Carrasco, right? Profar, 3 for 5, batting 600 versus Carrasco. I like that, right? Smaller sample size there. Hosmer's seen him plenty. 8 for 31, 258 versus Carrasco. Machado, 2 for 7, 286 versus Carrasco. And Cronenworth hasn't faced him, but he's batting 286 during June, which I like to see. There's some hitters, up and down the Padres lineup that definitely should be able to put the ball in play, get those runners on base. Now, can they bring them home? That's what I want. In their last series versus the Brewers, they did it, right? Padres hit this team total over in 4 straight games recently versus Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got solid starting pitching and a really good bullpen, and the Padres were able to go into Milwaukee and get some hits and runs. I hope that can carry back to Petco Park, where they've had their fair share of offensive struggles there, but there still might be run opportunities in the bullpen even after Carrasco, it comes out, because the Mets had to use a lot of arms yesterday versus the Dodgers, right? That game went into extra innings, and the Mets did prevail, but it just makes sense that the Padres returning home should be able to carry a little bit of offensive momentum up and get those runs we need to cash this team total over. 4 runs is definitely not asking for a lot for an MLB baseball team. And I'll pick this one with confidence. I love the value on that one. But Austin, you got a player prop for us. What you got?
Yep, we're going back to the offensive players. No more K props for me for a hot minute. But today I'm going with the guy on the Cleveland Guardians, and I'm taking his over. We're taking Jose Ramirez, taking his over in 1.5 bases. Now we do see it over on OddsJam. We do have plus 105 on FanDuel. One of the few times where FanDuel is actually giving us the best value, minus 105 on DraftKings. So obviously we're on FanDuel for this one. Now let's talk about why I like Mr. Jose Ramirez today. Now Ramirez been arguably the heartbeat of this Guardians roster, and he's been doing pretty well for their offense. He's batting 291 on the year, 14 home runs, 12 doubles, and 4 triples. He's not a guy that I expected to get a ton of triples, but does have 4, which is almost a career high. So if he gets a triple today, I'll really appreciate it. But over the last 2 weeks, turned it up a notch, 315 with 10 extra base hits, hitting this over in 7 of his last 12 games. Only played 12 games over that 14-day sample size. Now, Ramirez is hitting 313 versus right-handed pitchers this year, going up against John Gray, who is a righty. You see the splits fall off pretty hard, 229 versus lefties. But yeah, obviously we'll see a righty today. Now, Gray, I want to look at his what pitches he throws a lot, and it's majority fastball. Throws 51.8% fastballs. Well, Ramirez hits 318 versus that pitch, and that's really the best he's hits on any pitch so far. And we look at the weather, expected to help out some of the hitters today. We see the weather or the wind blowing out. That has led to a plus 7% in runs, plus 14% in home runs. I'm not expecting Ramirez to hit a home run today, although it would be nice. That would be a no sweat bet. It would be 4 bases. And look, the over and unders keeps creeping up over. It was 8, now 8.5, and now 9. So they're expecting some runs to be scored in this game. If you watched a Guardians game, you know their ballpark is very hitter friendly. A fly ball can kind of just carry out. And if the wind's kind of on our side, I really do think Ramirez has a good chance of hitting not only a home run, but a double, maybe into the gap, maybe a triple. That's what he's been doing apparently this year. So I really like Jose Ramirez. I think he gets it done over 1.5 bases, plus 105 on FanDuel is my player prop of the day. Now, normally we would go transition into, Nerfy Nation, but we're not going to force a Nerfy on a slate that's been only 6 games. So instead, it's Lean Nation. That's what we're going with. We got a couple leans, and I'm going to throw it to Logan to give us 2 Nerfy leans that he kind of like, but not, worth a play. And then I'm going to give you guys 2 more player props that I kind of like.
Yeah, right. Okay, we're not Lean Nation, right? We normally do make a play here, but considering yesterday broke our hearts with a solo home run, I'm like, I just don't feel like getting my heart broken in a 6-game slate, right? So let's talk about probably, to me, the best one on paper, right? Mets versus Padres, minus 130, on FanDuel right now. Looks like one of the best ones on the slate. But look, guys, I refuse to trust Blake Snell in this spot, right? Against the Mets, who are 6th best in first inning runs, Blake Snell is one of those pitchers that starts off really shaky all the time, right? And he's got that like arcing, the slider that can be a ball early on in the game. The Mets are really good at drawing walks and practicing plate discipline. I can't trust him there. I wouldn't call you crazy if you played that one though, right? The Padres have gotten their fair share of Nerfies, but another one I want to talk about that I think is a value Nerfie, right? Texas versus Cleveland, I think is a value Nerfie at minus 102. Now, Austin did mention you're going to have to survive a home run. It's going to be probably extremely sweaty, and you need a hope and a prayer that Gray can get the 3 outs you need. He's 4 for 4 on Nerfies this year. Well, he's 4 and 4 on Nerfies this year. So coin flip is what you're going to get from him today. And Cleveland is 10th best in first inning runs. You guys see why we're not really forcing a Nerfie today. There's a lot of conflicting data on a lot of these games. So it's really not worth it. The heartache that we suffered yesterday. But those are just two of my thoughts, for the Nerfies.
Yeah, I like both of them, but it's not worth forcing a play. 2 player props that I did like. Speaking of Blake Snell, I like his over 15.5 outs. It's just a lane. I don't really necessarily didn't do a ton of research on it, but I do think Blake Snell is capable. And like we said, the Padres are favored, and that's either going to be their offense that's stepping up or Blake Snell steps up today. And I think Blake Snell will pitch much better at home. 15.5 outs, not asking him to go 7 innings. We're just asking him to go 5 1/3, which he did do in one of his last 2 starts. He's actually hit this over in 2 straight starts. So I know the Mets are a good team at drawing walks. That is something that's Blake Snell's kryptonite. If you look at his game log, you see his hits allowed prop, only 3.5, which I was like, that's pretty low. But Blake Snell's actually gone under the 3.5 hits allowed in all 3 starts. He just gives up, 2-3 walks per game. So if we can kind of dial that back, the Mets maybe swing out a little bit of contact. Maybe we see a 15.5 outs pretty easy for Blake Snell. Another guy that's going to be a very popular play, hence why I'm off it. Hunter Green, over 6.5 strikeouts, the starting pitcher for the Reds. Look, Green's a strikeout or bust. He's going to give up a hit or he's getting a strikeout. This guy that throws like 98, 100 miles per hour and a very good strikeout guy this year. I just know everyone and their mother on a short slate is going to be on Hunter Green's over in strikeouts. The Diamondbacks, they're a troll team. They just come in and they're just like, yeah, we're going to troll today. And so I just don't want to force a play into that one. But those are my 2 player prop leans that I think, and we'll see how they do. We'll see how these leans do tomorrow. But our only 2 official plays, we're obviously riding with the Padres team total over 3.5 runs and Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases. Any final thoughts for the people, Logan?
No, I mean, look, it's a short slate in baseball, guys. I just want to preach, we'll have another full slate tomorrow. So just bankroll manage, right? Marathon, not a sprint.
Agreed. And like Logan was saying, that doesn't mean, though, that we don't have our parlay of the day. So the parlay is live on OddsJam. Top link in the description. Go check it out. And hopefully those 2 plays can cash over there. They're kind of in line with what we're picking today. But we appreciate you guys as always. It's been Austin. It's been Logan. We will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.